Hey there, welcome to another episode of Football Everyday, coming to you live and direct from the studios here at Menara Star in PJ. My name is Nelson as usual. Joining me today, Ian E and Daryl. Guys, good to see you. What a weekend of football it's been. Over the weekend, lots of interesting matches took place, right? So let's start with Man United's failure to take all 3 points against Newcastle. Ian, we've said that the Magpies really haven't been tested, against the bigger team so far. But look, credit to them, for coming back, being a goal down, and to take a point at Old Trafford, right?
Yeah, I think they were very lucky to get that point, right? They, apart from that chance, apart from the penalty, they only had one real chance where Colaccini forced that great save out of the Gea. Right. So I think in that sense, yeah, they still haven't really been tested. United weren't at their best. They got a very lucky break with the penalty, and United really slaughtered them towards the end of the second half. They really.
So they rode their luck, right?
Yeah, very much
Daryl,
so, yeah.
Was it a penalty?
Obviously, you look like he died, but
he's a Liverpool fan. He'll say anything.
Yeah. He looked like he died. Hatim Ben Arfa died. He looked like he died. But the linesman basically had the last say. I don't know why the referee listened to the linesman. Right. But as what Alan Pardew said at the post-match, basically Newcastle had some luck.
Right. Okay, well, at the Emirates, meanwhile, high-flying Arsenal, were also held to a 1-1 draw by Martin Jol's Fulham. Ian, would you say it's 2 points dropped or a point gain, against, a Fulham side at where Thomas Vermaelen scored twice?
I think Fulham, that's the thing with them. They have the players to do the damage, right? They have Zamora, they have Johnson, Clint Dempsey is a good player. At the back, Breda Hungerland is a good player. So if things work out for them, they can be a very difficult side to beat. So I guess, a point isn't that bad.
Right. Daryl, Fulham can do it against a big team sometimes, right?
Fulham had a horrible record at the Emirates. But, coming to this last weekend, we look at the fact that, Arsenal basically playing their lives depended on it. They were going for the game, but they just couldn't basically unlock Fulham.
Right. Okay, over at the Hawthorns, Spurs kept up their impressive form by coming from behind to beat West Brom by 3-1. Daryl, have Spurs impressed you of late? Especially the form of Emmanuel Adebayo.
The whole Spurs team is fantastic. The fact that they might be pushing for second place this weekend.
Right.
They got game in hand, and Harry Redknapp basically is trying to keep his assets, his best players in the side. Adebayo, I don't know whether he's going to sign for Spurs. That's big about his wages and all that. But Ian, do you think that the rest of the Spurs players have been really stepping up so much this season?
Yeah, it's funny because in the previous seasons, they've always been bigged up so much. There's always so much hype around Tottenham Hotspur when they say they're finally going to get it right. And this season, everybody's kind of quiet about it. But they've been slowly doing it in the background. So I guess that's what you need sometimes. The weight of expectations can be too much. So maybe that's the reason why they're finally rising up to
so
it.
Spurs are quietly getting the job done. We'll see where they end up come end of the season. Okay. Well, as most of us expected, Chelsea put the Blues behind them with a much-needed 3-0 win over struggling Wolves at Stamford Bridge. Ian, 3 first-half goals, sealed the deal, right? So would you say the Blues are back on track?
Come on, it's against Wolves, right?
Yeah.
You can't. You wouldn't want them to read too much into it. I saw parts of the second half. They really struggled to open it up, and Wolves got back into the game. They had their chances as well. So Chelsea have really a lot of problems.
Right. Okay. Well, in the big one, Daryl's favourite. 10-man Manchester City managed to stay unbeaten as City came away from Anfield with a 1-1 draw. Daryl, the Reds had loads of chances, right? To kill off the game. I watched it, right? And if not for Joe Hart, look, City would have gone home.
Definitely.
Losers, right?
It was the fact that the second half was all Liverpool, and it's the same old Liverpool story here. 5 games now at Anfield. Yeah. And they've drawn, 5, they played 7 and drawn 5.
I think no one's drawn more home games than Liverpool.
It's very, very poor record. But Kenny Dalglish will take heart that, Joe Hart, he's basically players made chances and didn't put them away.
Right.
What do you think about this headline, Daryl?
Well, I'm
provoked.
I'm very sure Balotelli was provoked. He's just a ridiculous player.
Sorry, I was coming to that there. Balotelli made the headlines for all the wrong reasons once again. Do you think that was a factor?
Well, it was a big stage thing, coming on substitute, basically trying to win the game, for Man City, and then he goes screwing it up, and that build argument, and the whole.
The first yellow card was silly, right? Ian, what did you make of Liverpool's performance on the whole?
They were fantastic. I think they should have won by at least a clear margin, 2 goals maybe at least. Yeah. And the red card, come on, Mancini has to be kidding himself. It was a red card, come on.
True. Daryl, as a Liverpool fan, look, Andy Carroll didn't start, but what's your verdict on him? Look, he missed a penalty in midweek against
he came on for like 4
Chelsea
minutes,
in the League Cup.
Yeah. And he got a yellow card against Man City and all that. I think Andy Carroll has got serious issues with confidence, and I don't know how long Ken Dalglish is going to keep him,
Right.
there's no point of him keeping him on the bench. Just ship him off. He's not going to do anything.
It's basically the same problem with Torres and Chelsea, right? Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of great players and stuff, I mean, Daryl, get a quick tribute before the break, right, to certain Gary Speed, who Daryl kind of grew up with.
Yeah.
Gives you an idea of Daryl's age, right? But Daryl, I mean, quick word, Gary Speed, great player over the years.
I mean, looking at all the grounds during the tribute for Gary Speed, I mean, everyone was singing there's only one Gary Speed. I mean, you know, like, he was a much loved player for me, everybody. I mean, Liverpool fans, sang about him, and it's just the fact that we've lost one of the, great British players, the Welsh manager and all that.
All right, well, hang on to your thoughts. Thank you for that. It is time for our first break here on Football Everyday. We'll be right back to catch up with this weekend's eye-catching matches, so do stay tuned. We'll see you real soon. Welcome back to Football Everyday with me, Nelsen, Ian, and Daryl, of course. Okay, guys, lots of mouth-watering matches taking place this weekend, and the early kickoff on Saturday sees Newcastle play host to Chelsea. I mean, following games against relatively mediocre opponents, Chelsea are the third big boy whom the Magpies come up against in succession, following City and United, right? So. And they're at home. So, Ian, do you think you can keep it up against Chelsea?
Yeah, I think so. Chelsea have been quite uninspired, I think. Even Juan Mata is looking a bit subdued in the last few games. So, Newcastle, the way they organize their defense is just amazing. They're going through a really good spell right now. And it's the right time to face Chelsea. So, I think they definitely have a chance to get a good result there.
Daryl, you agree with Ian?
I mean, the most important thing, like 2 weeks ago, they got a bit massacred by Man City. Newcastle got massacred. Then they came back to Manchester again to play at Old Trafford and got a very vital point, the confidence point. I put it to you. When Chelsea arrives at the St James Park, is it still called St James Park, or did they change the name?
I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're looking at the fact that Chelsea basically really low on confidence. I would say I would just give it to Newcastle for this one. They'll be all out. The Geordie Nation will be behind
Newcastle to win then. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, over at the JJB, Wigan welcome Arsenal. Ian, quick one. I mean, this certainly looks like nothing less than an Arsenal win, on paper at least, right?
Yeah, definitely. Wigan have been awful, right? You just can't score goals at all. I mean, they can score against Sunderland, but that's totally different.
I mean, Daryl, you were saying that it's about time the Premier League, saw the back of Wigan and teams like Bolton, so.
I mean, with the sort of teams like Wigan, I mean, Arsenal coming through, with Robert Van Persie basically in top form in the past few weeks, but I mean, that whole Fulham game showed that, Arsenal can there's still doubts about Arsenal's defense.
Right. Okay, well, meanwhile...
Who's going to score for Wigan?
That's true. Meanwhile, third placed Spurs are at home to, as we mentioned, third from bottom, Bolton. Daryl, I know you want to speak on this one. I mean, look, Owen Coyle himself has been baffled by so-called poor form by his team. Right? I mean, so can we expect this to continue, or could they buck the trend at White Hart Lane?
To be honest with you, this season it looks like it was Fortress White Hart Lane. I mean, nobody wants to go and play there. I mean, you're really looking at the fact that it's going to have a tough game, and the way Spurs come out of the traps. I mean, the first 15 minutes, it's just amazing the speed.
They're all over you, right?
Yeah. So I don't know about Bolton, but I would say it would be curtains for them if they don't basically focus in the first half an hour.
Right. Yeah. Okay, well, Ian, the late game on Saturday sees Manchester United travel to Aston Villa, over at Villa Park, of course. Look, if United are to catch City, they've certainly got to get a run of wins going, right? I mean,
definitely. I think
time to start, right? It's heading to Christmas, and
I think this would definitely be a win for United. I've watched Villa on and off this season, and they've been boring. They've been very boring. The only outlet they have is Gabriel Agbonlahor. And Darren Bent, he's still crying out for service, and it can't be Agbonlahor doing everything. He can't be scoring. He can't be providing goals. So and how do you expect Richard Dunn to mark Javier Hernandez?
Right.
That's going to be a key battle for me, and I don't think Dunn is going to win.
Daryl, I mean, with Alex McLeish, and stuff, they're not going to be pushovers, right? But do you agree with Ian?
I would say United will be their own worst enemies. I mean,
true.
They will look. Good for 3 points, but with the fact that they miss so many sitters and they can't basically settle with a proper strike force. Right. And Ferguson is basically, toying an idea with Berbatov.
Right.
And Rooney is kind of like off color, and I would say Hernandez will be the main man.
Right. Well, okay, Ian, give me a quick one on Manchester City at home to Norwich City. I mean, surely another 3 points are in the bag, right?
Yeah, I hate to say it.
I mean, right?
yeah.
I hate it too, but it looks like that,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, on Tuesday morning, Fulham play host to Daryl goes Liverpool. Daryl, I mean, Dirk Kuyt sees reason to be optimistic about getting back to the Champions League, you know, following their performances against the big teams, you know, your Chelseas, your Uniteds, your Cities, where Liverpool haven't lost to any of them, right? But it is against the lower teams.
I'm very worried
Liverpool,
about this one,
right?
because the fact that whenever Liverpool plays, I mean, like a mid-table team, it kind of like they don't. I won't say that they don't raise the game.
Right.
They find it very hard to unlock these defenses, which I mean are very, very like. I mean, they know how to play Liverpool. These teams, it's kind of bizarre for me, very baffling.
Yeah, I saw this Facebook status today. It was saying, "Why can't Liverpool play Chelsea every week? Because if they did, they'll probably win the Premier League."
Well, that's true. I mean, well, Ian, Craven Cottage is an easy place to go to for any team. I mean,
Definitely.
And look, you know, former Red John Anarisa is there, Daryl Murphy is there. So you think they've got a thing or two to stop Kenny Dalglish's side this weekend?
Oh, that's a really tough one to call, because Liverpool, on their day this season, they've been able to beat. They swept aside United more or less, right? I mean, they played so well against the top teams. So yeah, it's against the lesser teams that they've somehow struggled. So I don't know how to call this one, because it's just weird. You just don't know what Liverpool team is going to turn up.
Right.
I mean, besides Liverpool, you got to also focus on Fulham needing to basically take advantage of their home games right now.
You're right.
Because I mean, it's December, it's all going to go pear-shaped if the whole December goes wrong for Fulham.
Right. Okay, thanks a lot for your thoughts, guys. Before we say goodbye, do remember, of course, that we've launched a brand new contest, and it's available on football.thestar.com.my. All you've got to do is take a picture according to the monthly theme, upload it, get your friends to vote, right? Stand a chance to win monthly prizes from Adidas, Tiger FC, and of course, SendQ, on top of FA Cup final tickets, right? And if you want to drop us an email, send it to football@thestar.com.my. And also remember to catch us, as well as the rest of the guys, on Astro's 442 Eurozone. That airs every Friday night, 9 p.m. on Astro Channel 811, right? Till we see you next week, guys. Pleasure. It's been as usual. Enjoy football. We'll see you real soon.
Chit-chat.
Nice one, guys.
Retrospect. Tiger time.